All right, boys, we're going. Hinam, dudes. Welcome.
Oh, wait,
Thank you.
Can't see.
What's that?
I said I forget people can't see.
Hinam, you're living on a high still? Has
Yeah.
it set in?
Yeah, no, it's set in. I think it's more special now than it was in the moment. Like in the moment, especially like during the tournament, you're just kind of trying to stay focused, stay in the zone, and trying to not think about it. But now that it's over, it's pretty cool.
I asked him upstairs. I said, "Do you feel different?" You know what I mean? Your presence here is different.
I was going to
feel
say,
it.
from the first time we did the podcast to now,
Yeah.
I feel different.
Definitely.
I'm a little nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just joking. No, but not really. So what's up? How's the summer treating you? Just started?
Well, it just started, but it's been pretty good so far. I've been pretty lucky. I've been able to see everybody I kind of wanted to see. I got to see all my buddies from back home. Got to go back in the gym, see all my hockey boys, and it's been pretty fun. I've seen a lot of people in the past a week and a half, and it's been nice to catch up after being away for so long.
That's unreal.
Yeah.
So the whole experience, like honestly, it's great the dudes and I were there because we can talk about our experience and your experience at the same time, because we got to see the media side of it and you got to, actually play it. So, for us, it was brand new with the whole media. There's a lot of media there. Did the boys in the room, did they ever talk about holy shit? Like, up in Rouen, there's probably some media, but not to the level of the Mem Cup, obviously. Did you guys ever talk about that, or was that even like a focus in your guys' mind, the media and things like that?
It was obviously new for us. Like they had that whole media zone. Like we don't have that. So after the games in Rouen, like maybe one or two guys gets an interview for the local newspaper or something like that.
Yeah.
But there, it's like our social media guy, our marketing guys coming in like you interviews right now. So we had to like get undressed real quick, go do the interviews before we did like our cool downs after the game.
Yeah.
So it was pretty difficult. It's like half the room's gone, then you got to wait for everybody to do their interviews, and then we had to do the cool down. So it was kind of a long process, but no, it was new for us too.
That was my question. Was how do they go in? Like, how do they go about it? Because you get like up in the media booth for us, you get a sheet.
Yeah.
Right. So they send out an email and they're like, these people are available 100%. Like no questions asked, because obviously that's what the big wigs want. Then they give you a sheet to choose, right?
Yeah.
So do they just come in the room and that's exactly what they do? Just go, you, let's go.
Yeah, our marketing guy comes in after Mario's done talking after the game, and he comes in, he goes, we start getting undressed, he comes in, starts calling out numbers, and it's like, let's go, we got to go now. Like, I think it was a pretty professional event, so we didn't really, there was no saying no to interviews, there was nothing like that, so
you have to say yes, you can't deny them.
Yeah, it's part of the tournament, like even if guys were injured, even if they had to do P tests after the game for doping and stuff, they the people had to go watch them. It's like there was no saying no excuses. You had to go do the interviews right now. It was like, you guys hurry up, like 2 minutes and you got to get out there.
So on your first interview, were you expecting to get called out? Did you kind of have a feeling maybe because you were a hometown kid, or?
I was expecting the first day there. We got there, I think it was before the first game. I was expecting kind of an interview, just saying like, oh, what's it like coming home and stuff like that. But then after that, I really did. After that, I really didn't expect anything, and yeah.
So when you get asked like right away, I know it happens quick, which is how I would prefer it to happen without sitting there. But did you kind of get nervous at all, or were you? I mean, you're a pretty good interview for us for the first time we had you, so I mean, you're good out there. But were you nervous at all going into it, like being like oh shit, what are they going to ask?
Tournament?
No, into the interviews after they call your name.
Yeah, I don't know. You just kind of have to try to be honest, and Mario was pretty stressing the fact that just keep it simple, be positive in your interviews. Don't say anything to fire the other team up. Just keep it simple.
True.
Say, they're a good team. They play fast. They play good. Yeah. We're looking forward to it. We're gonna play our game. Done. Boom.
It's something that's embedded in the DNA of a hockey player, especially a junior hockey player. If you think about it, you've watched NHL interviews your whole life. You watch TSN in the morning. You watch Sportsnet.
Yeah.
And you watch those interviews, but you don't think about it. But when you're finally at that point in your career where you're getting asked the questions, you know how to say it, you know what to say, and you know how to respond, and you know when to say what exactly. You might not think it, but not even you. Every single guy was just calm, knew how to answer, didn't say anything too out of the ordinary. Yeah. It's just embedded into the DNA of a hockey player, I thought. At least.
Yeah, we didn't have any coaching.
Yeah, without even knowing.
We didn't have any coaching, but after Mario and Dobby had that season last year, that they kind of knew what we were getting ourselves into, especially going into the playoff run. So we had to talk about it before playoffs, like what to say in your interviews. Like, don't say anything negative, or else it's going to be printed on a piece of paper and slapped in the other team's locker room.
And 10 times
it's
more
just giving them fire. Yeah, the twist your words around. So make sure we had a little talk about it. Just be positive. Don't say anything bad about the other team. Just talk about us. Talk about the positives that we're playing out of our game. Say we're looking forward to the next game. Stuff like that. Just trying to stay calm, cool, and collected.
At that point, it's pretty easy to be positive, though.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, exactly. But even after like that game against Guelph, this tournament opener where we just got spanked there. No, I think it was kind of a shot to the gut there, just kind of going out and do those interviews, just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
well, did it suck going out after you beat the Mooseheads and then you still had to go back in the semis? Did it suck doing those interviews?
We went into that game kind of knowing that there was a very slim chance that we were going to get the bye anyway, so we kind of just wanted to focus on ourselves. Mm-hmm. We were proud of ourselves that we clawed back there and we got the win, so that was big for us. I think we had a really good third, which kind of helped us leading into that semis against Guelph. We were kind of rolling at that point.
Yeah,
we had a slow start to the tournament, but as the tournament went on, I think every single period we got better and better and better. So yeah, I think that game against the Mooseheads was kind of like a turning point for us. I think we were down by 2 goals or something like that, and we kind of turned it on in the third. We got the win, and then we kind of never looked back from there, and I think that was the turning point.
I think sometimes it's hard to say it, but it's better to get that punch in the gut early in the tournament. You see a lot of times where the team just steamrolls through right into the final, and then they just don't have it anymore because the other team that's there had faced adversity on day 2.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, we got we almost got really 3 punches in the guts this year. We got our second game of the season we lost. We were 1-1 after the opening weekend. We lost to Gatineau, who they were a pretty young team. I think we were we weren't supposed to be as good as we were.
Yeah.
We were kind of projected like in the 5-6 range by a lot of the media outlets and stuff like that. But we got that. We had a loss early in the season. Like I know Prince Albert started the year like 18-0 or something like that.
Number one in the nation.
Yeah, they were number 1 in the nation for a while, and then we took over around Christmas time. But yeah, like they got out to a hot start, but we got that punch right in the gut. And then playoffs came around. We were tied 2-2 with Shawinigan after 4 games. So that was another kind of bringing us back down to earth. And then first game of the Mem Cup, we got killed like 5-2 by Guelph there. Like,
wow.
Yeah, because they were.
So I think those were three big moments in our season that kind of just brought us back down to earth. Made sure we knew that we had to play our game. We have to play hard. Like we're not good enough to win on talent alone. So those were 3 big losses for us.
Well, it's good to face it
that way. Yeah.
Well, it's a lot of the team is defined by not how you're reacting when you're winning, but when you're losing.
Yeah.
Right. Or when you lost.
Yeah.
So when you have good veteran presence on your team, like if you're a team full of rookies and you face that adversity, where's their last experience? Like midget, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff where it's just kind of like that's a stepping stone. It's not really I'm not going to say it's not a culture. It's just different, right? So you need to like almost face those humps just right away, get over it. Now you know what you can do after those first 2 that you had. So you get to the Mem Cup, you get beat by Guelph, and then you're like, well, we've been here before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it almost helps.
Did it help to be playing at the Metro Center? Because you played there for the week before. Did it help to be comfortable there? I know they booed the shit out of you.
Yeah.
You're used to
not
that.
Not me. That was Dobby.
Shout out to Dobby. You got to get on this podcast. What was he saying in the room? What was he saying in the room?
I think he thought it was kind of funny, but I think he never said it. But I think once we got to the Mem Cup, we were playing Guelph, and we went on the ice for our first game of the Mem Cup. Like we're the QMJHL team. Like we were kind of thinking that obviously they're going to be cheering for the Mooseheads, but like we might get a little support here. Like we're the East Coast team playing against like the OHL.
Some guy,
and then we come on the ice,
on the bench too.
And the whole crowd just goes nuts booing us when they announce us coming on the ice. You're just like, holy shit! Like this is gonna be a hostile week, I guess.
Yep.
And then even the Mem Cup start. We're not even playing against the Mooseheads, and they're booing Dobby. So I think that kind of pissed him off a little bit. But he would never say it during the tournament. But I think it got under his skin, especially when we weren't playing the Mooseheads. We were playing against the OHL, and he was still getting booed every single time he touched the puck. But
let's just be clear on something. Getting booed is the absolute biggest sign of respect.
Oh, it's a huge compliment.
If you're getting booed, it means you're unreal.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you speared somebody in the throat or something, but obviously you can't do that anymore.
But yeah, like Dobby's not the type of guy that he's getting booed because he's out there chucking knees and elbows around. He's getting booed because he's the best player probably in junior hockey this past
41
season.
minutes a game.
Yeah, 39 minutes a game, 40 minutes a game.
His average, I think,
was nuts. Yeah,
was like 34 minutes because I was tracking minutes.
I think like the TSN guy tweeted out that he played like 39 minutes or something like that against Guelph in the semifinal.
Yeah, that's accurate. Dudes was tracking.
Yeah, was it? Yeah. And then it was like 36 in the finals against Halifax.
I was also tracking his in-between like the time in between his shifts, not including TV timeouts, and the longest period of time that he had between his shifts was 40 seconds.
Yeah, I was gonna say less than a minute for sure.
Yeah,
like
so it just like, and like it was almost like your guys' coaches knew the TV timeouts were coming, they would just like extend his shift, bring him to the bench, he'd sit there, he wouldn't come out right away, and then as soon as the face-off came, he'd come out.
No, they would definitely time his shifts around the TV timeouts. When you have a guy like that, and I think Mario said it in an interview, like there's nothing left to save him for. You might as well just run him right into the ground, right? Basically.
No.
So we were using him as much as we could. If he could go, we were sending him out there, and then they would use the TV timeouts as a break. So yeah, no, for sure the TV timeouts at the Mem Cup where we were getting, I think 3 a period, they were all a minute 30 or 2 minutes long, opposed to like during the regular season we would get like 1 a period for a minute or something like that. So it was a lot more rest. So they definitely use that to our advantage to make sure we got Noah on the ice more.
Smart.
There would be a point where Dobson would, well, not up point, every single time he went off, he would never leave the door. He would stay right on the door. He'd never go in one. He would just go right back out and wait. He would double shift the whole tournament. I'm pretty sure you guys rolled 4D the whole tournament. I don't know if those other 2 guys went.
They did a few times.
Did they?
Yeah, the 5-6 guys, they played a decent amount, but the big loss was Navarre, our defenseman, our 20-year-old defenseman. We lost him in game 2 of the finals. He got a block shot in the face and broke his jaw. So he was done, and he was logging a lot of minutes. He was a right-handed D2, so that was a big hit on Dobby as well. So we couldn't send another righty out there, so it jumped right down. So we only had basically like 2 right-handed defensemen rolling. So that was a big hit on him. Like he had to take a lot more responsibility for the rest of the final and the Mem Cup. But yeah, no, that was he was playing a lot there, but I think he can handle it. He's such an efficient skater.
At least he went down blocking a biscuit to the face. Like,
yeah, no, it was,
if I'm gonna go down, that's the way I want it.
Yeah, his mouth was like more metal than it was teeth by the end of that tournament. Man, it was crazy.
You love that stuff, dude.
I do love it, but if you like, I'm just trying to feel his pain somehow, and it's just like.
But the sad thing is, I don't think he was in pain. He's a warrior, man. Like I've never seen a guy block more shots than him in my entire career. Like we were playing in Quebec my first year, goes down one timer straight to like the head, gets up, just keeps playing, no problems. Like most guys would just like panic and go down right away, like holy shit, I just took a one timer off the head.
Just lay there for a minute because you think you're dead.
Yeah, you think you're dead, you think you just died, you just gets right back up, keeps playing.
He's like,
refs didn't even blow the whistle. It was crazy.
Chara fucking stayed down for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm comparing them.
Yeah, Jack's tougher than Chara.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at here.
On this podcast.
How is he 47 though?
Yeah. No. I know you're a big team guy, so it's going to be hard for you to answer this, but your game, in my opinion, stepped up tremendously, especially from the first game of the tournament to the end of the tournament. You impressed Dudes and I and pretty much everyone in that rink. Mm-hmm. I can't explain it. I think you're the only person that can explain it. So, in your opinion, you might have just played the exact same way the entire year. Maybe you don't even think you picked it up. We think you did. What do you think the secret was for your elevation in your play?
I approach the game, every single game, the same way I did all year, but I think maybe I'm a guy that likes to play with energy, give energy to the team, so I think maybe that bigger stage kind of gave me a little extra boost, like it gets the Mem Cup, don't say it, nothing left to save it for, so might as well just go out there, just move your feet as much as you can and just leave it all out there. I think maybe that kind of that helped me a little bit, just kind of like that extra bolt of energy, playing in front of that many people in Halifax to every games on Sportsnet. It was pretty cool. So maybe that was a little jolt, but no, I tried to just play the same way. I
noticed your forecheck was incredible. Was that a game planned by the coach going in? Because I'll give you the one specific one, was the one against McIsaac there on the forecheck where you rammed him and then you put the, what are you laughing at? What's funny? What's so funny?
This is a funny memory for me.
Well, why is it funny for you?
I'll just keep going.
Okay, and then so you rammed him, and then you got the puck out front, and I forget who did the wraparound goal, but that was the goal to give you guys the lead in the Mem Cup championship game. I don't even know what I was gonna say. That was just a sick play. What were you thinking on that forecheck, I guess?
I think we were playing the round robin. I was on the third line, and then I think it was the last game of the round robin against Halifax. I got moved up to go play with Peter Beninato and Joel Teasdale.
Yeah.
And my coach had talked to me and said, like, look, like we're gonna put you up there, but don't change your game. Keep forechecking hard. Give these guys room. Like go play with energy and just don't change a single thing, because we're putting you on that line for a reason. So don't change your game, or else there's no point. So I think he wanted me out there. He wanted me. I'm a big body, so I think I kind of had a responsibility to to finish my hits and stuff
Great
like that.
space.
But no, I think our whole team identity, we were every single guy was relentless on the forecheck. We were hard on pucks. I think maybe I just finished my hits a little more than some other guys just because I was bigger, and if I didn't, I just get yelled at. So.
Definitely not maybe for sure.
So if you're 5'8", you kind of have an excuse to not finish your hit, but when you're 6'1", it's just like you better finish that hit. So.
We were watching you for one shift, and you didn't have a good shift. You went on the bench, you got sat, and then 2 shifts later, you came out, and I think you scored. Do you remember that? Do you remember that when
coach
that
was
happened?
constantly
The
talking
coach
to
was
you.
talking
Against
to you.
Guelph, right?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And the coach, what's his name, Mario?
Yeah.
He was reaming you. He was just screaming at you.
Yeah.
And
Just
I saw
for the
you looking
first
back.
part of it, then the second part, he just like kept pointing and then like saying
Yeah.
things to you.
And I called it. I was like, watch this. Hinam's next shift, he's going to have a big shift, because I knew he was screaming at you. I knew you were going to respond, and then bada boom, bada bing, you had the goal there. Was that a common theme throughout the whole year, the relationship, I guess, of... Because, that's what you want in a coach. You want a coach to be able to push you and make you a better player, and it seems like he did that for you.
Yeah, for sure. I think Mario's reputation as a coach is kind of just getting the best out of his players. He establishes roles for everybody and kind of make sure that everybody's comfortable with that role. So I think he had a big job to do, especially at Christmas time. We brought in Dobby, Teasdale, and Cote. So that's a lot of minutes, right?
You were here when you guys got Dobson.
Yeah,
during your podcast.
Yeah. I'm not sure I don't think we made the Teasdale trade yet, but I think we got Cote. I think we had Cote and Dobby by the time that podcast happened.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time, so Teasdale's probably playing 20 minutes a game. Cote's probably around like 15, 16 mark, and then Dobby's like 40 minutes. So you're looking at over 60 minutes of ice time that you got to subtract from the guys that were on our team originally. So that was a big job for him to kind of talk with everybody, find roles for everybody, make sure everybody's happy. Because if you're not happy, then you're not going to be playing to the best of your abilities. So I think he did a really good job finding a role for everybody, whether it was on the PK, on 5-on-5, on the power play, and making sure everybody stayed in tune with the team. So I think that was a reputation that I think he has, and I think he obviously lived up to it this year with the amount of talent that we had and the amount of and the way that everybody stayed happy, everybody bought in, and everybody gave everything they had.
Yeah, it seemed like you guys were like almost unfazed by things, you know what I mean? Like even just being down like the media scrum and stuff like that. I know I can't remember what game it was. I think it was the game you guys lost.
Yeah.
But it was just like the boys still came out. They did their interviews. No one was really like sulking or anything like that or sucking hard. They were just kind of like, let's get this over with because we got a job to do kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
No one seemed to be too phased. Anytime you guys went down or the crowd was booing or you got a shitty penalty or a bad call, or it just didn't seem to faze you guys. And that's a scary thing when other teams are looking at that.
Well, I think that we got that. We were very thankful that we had a big talk about that after game 4 in Shawinigan. We had a little backstory behind it is last year we were playing in the first round against Sherbrooke, and one of our guys had a wide open net in front of the net. He got high sticked, so obviously his head goes up, drops the stick. Like 4 minutes, like I think he almost broke his nose on the high stick.
Yeah.
Missed a wide open net in overtime that would have sealed the deal. Like we were up 3-2 in the series, and then so there was no video review for it. And then this year we're playing against Shawinigan. It's like we're down by a goal with like 3 minutes left, and we high stick somebody, no call. They go back, they video review it because of the rule that they made against us last year, the one that screwed us last year. So they get the video review, 4 minute high stick against us with like 3 minutes left. They score on the power play, and
Wow.
So we were losing it. Like it's just so frustrating that we're the reason they made that rule, and then it gets used against us in playoffs the following year. So we
laugh
That's
now.
hockey.
You laugh
Yeah.
now, but
we laugh now, but we were losing it at the time. So we had a talk after that game. We were pretty frustrated the whole series. Their goalie was playing really well. Like I think we were the first team in like 15 years to lose a game in the first round, and we lost 2 of them. So, so we were we're not in panic mode, but we were frustrated that this wasn't going the way we expected it to go, and we had a big talk. And then for the rest of the playoffs, we had a rule like 3 C's: calm, cool, collected. So anytime anything would happen, we had it written right below or right below the bench above the water bottles, like 3 C's: calm, cool, collected.
Yeah.
remember we seen the trainer writing it on when we were out on the bench?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah. So we just remembered that every shift, and I think that really helped us, especially in the Mem Cup when things weren't going our way. Like I think we were down 2-0 in the final.
Yeah. Right off the bat, too.
Yeah.
And
Raffy got the breakaway goal to make it 2-0.
Yeah, shorthanded or coming right out of the
right
box.
out of the box,
there.
but he chipped it right up the middle.
Yeah, so I think that was a big help for us that we faced that adversity. We kind of experienced like what our team is like when we lose our composure, when we're just not playing with our emotions, but we're not controlling them. So we were thankful that we kind of experienced that in the first round. And that was our motto for the rest of the playoffs in the Mem Cup was calm, cool, collected. So I think
3 C's.
3 C's. So I think that really helped us, like you said, like when we went down or something bad would happen, like you don't see our whole bench getting up and throwing their arms in the air.
No one
like,
banging their stick or anything like that.
Just take it, keep playing, don't worry about it, don't force the game.
And you told me that too. You're like, when you get scored on in Halifax, it sucks. 10,000 people cheering against you. It's not fun at all. Like, you guys are able to.
That place was crazy,
calm.
man.
Yeah, you got people banging on the glass behind us. Like it's like the wiggly boards, right? So they make a lot of
best boards in the league. I heard though, really good boards.
Unreal.
That's why he was on the new level, right? 'Cause he wanted to make the boards fold in front of his buddies.
Going around, you miss a hit, you just got a separated shoulder. But here you can just, if you miss, you miss. Oh,
you want to miss.
It's like a trampoline. They got the microphones too, right there, so it sounds loud.
You don't even care about getting hit either. You're like, suicide pass, whatever. The board's like, woo.
You get cement for boards up in our rink up north, but
is
it a new rink or is it old? I can't remember.
No, it's old.
It's old, but we had renovations about 6-7 years ago, so it looks pretty nice. I think it's a nice rink. It's a really cool place to play in.
It was funny. There's because there's obviously tourists at the Metro or the Scotiabank Center because the Mem Cup, and the washrooms where the fans go, like they're the new ones with the sensors. Well, every time I went in there was people that aren't from Halifax, obviously, I guess, and they go in there and they couldn't get the water to come out because they couldn't find the sensors. I'm like, what is this place? Well, Halifax, you guys don't have taps here? What's going on? Same with the soap. The soap was censored too, so no one could figure out how to get the soap in the water. It was fucking hilarious. Every time I went in, there was people just complaining
about the automated
system. Like, why can't they just have taps here?
Well, Thunder Bay, everything was manual still.
Yeah,
you remember they had no technology there.
Do you guys have a good setup in your room?
Yeah, I think we have, from what I've heard about the guys that either get traded here or guys that have been traded away, like I think we have one of the top facilities in the room for sure, considering our room's huge. Nice. It's nice. We got really nice stalls, like
sensor taps or turning taps?
Turns.
See?
Yeah. What's the old Quebec, bud?
Old Quebec.
But no, we have a really nice setup. Our room's huge. We got stick room, video room, conference room. We got a little kitchen in there.
All in one big room.
Well, no, it's like all in different rooms.
Okay,
like our whole facility, and then we got we share the rink. Like the rink has a gym in it.
Okay,
so it's like whatever, like a high school gymnasium, like wood floors.
Oh, that kind of gym.
So we have that. We'll go in there. We'll do workouts. That's where we'll play like our soccer before the game and stuff like that.
That's cool.
On our off days, we'll go in there, play road hockey. Like it's a great facility for sure. We have basketball nets in there. So
you play basketball?
I
guess everyone.
I attempt to, yeah.
6'1" or something like that. You got a pretty good shot.
You're 6'1"?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Don't you read the stats?
Yeah, he's 6'1" with his shoes. Yeah, but everyone bumps up their stats.
Not me.
It said I was 200 on mine.
Oh, wow.
175.
That is a stretch. You might be 200 now with that locker on you. But
I used to wear the big shoulder pads though that come up to my ears, so it made it look like I was fucking.
That's why he didn't pass ever, because he couldn't see anybody.
Yeah, put the puck in the net. How many goals did I get in junior? You know, I didn't even know. How many?
142. Sorry, 142.
142.
That's not in 1 year. That's not.
Do you have anything to say about that? 142 points.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of people
That's
getting
3
up
years.
at the Dartmouth Sportsplex.
Yeah, I stay humble about it. I don't like to talk.
All
about
9 fans were pumped that year.
Yeah, well, I was trying to stay humble about it. I'm not making a big deal out of it like you guys. It's all right if you're. It's all right if you're nervous right now to be here.
You asked me to tell you what stats you had.
No, but about Halifax, like it sucked on getting scored on there, but I can't even imagine like the other teams coming into our rink, especially in the playoffs. It was nuts.
Was it?
Are they more vicious?
We had a sellout in the first round. It was we were sold out the whole playoffs. It gets so loud. We had lights going off everywhere. Like it's so small that like it gets loud, and they got the horns going. Like they
brought them to Halifax.
Did they bring them to Halifax?
Yeah.
Okay. And so they got those horns going. It gets loud, and I know I like talk to my buddies. Like they say we hate playing there. Like it's just a brutal drive up there, and then you get there. Like in order to get to their bench, they have to walk up like a flight of stairs, and then you get up there. It's small ice, so we're kind of
you guys are used to playing.
Yeah, we're used to playing on it. Some teams aren't. Some guys like it. Some guys don't like it, but. I know a lot of people don't like playing in Rouen for sure.
How's the setup in for the Mem Cup, your room and stuff like that? Did they give you a good setup?
Yeah, I think we were I'm not sure how they picked it, but we had the same setup as we had for the President's Cup. We had the same room.
Down the far end.
Yeah, down at the far end there, by I think Carmichael Street it is, or maybe the other side. I'm not really sure.
No, that's Duke.
Okay, Duke Street. Yeah. So we were down at that end. So I don't know. It was pretty nice that we had the same setup. Everything was the same. Sucked a little bit for our warm ups though. They had all those TV trucks and stuff there, so we couldn't do our warm up up that alleyway. So
Sorry about that. That's me.
yeah, no,
my bad.
Thanks, guys.
My bad.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll try to park it somewhere else.
Those are the high button trucks there.
Yeah, high button trucks.
Okay.
I'm still paying those off right now. Right on, man. Well, that's good. How did you find the ice? There was so much hockey played on that ice, and the Metro Center is definitely not known for the best ice. Did you find it difficult to play on at all?
It was good. Like the first 10, 12 minutes of the period is really good because the ice is so flat and there's no bumps, there's no grooves in it, but it just gets snowy pretty quick.
Yeah.
But you got to expect that. There's 10,000 people in there. It's a lot of body heat coming off. Like it's a hot rink.
Yeah.
So we came into that game expecting it, but I mean, both teams are playing on the same ice, so it's not a big deal.
Do you like when the people come on with the shovels and remove the ice? Did you notice a difference? We were saying that'd be a good feeling knowing that the ice was getting cleared of snow. Did you notice a difference at all?
Yeah, obviously they get some snow off, but it's not like a Zamboni. So
yeah.
But again, like I said, like both teams are playing on the same ice, so
doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter at all. No.
Yeah, it's a tough excuse.
Yeah, it's a tough excuse to use when the same team, the other teams using the same ice.
It looked good though up from the top though.
No, it was pretty good ice, especially the first 10, 12 minutes. It's so flat, and they do that. I think they use 2 Zambonis in Halifax.
Yeah, they do. So it dries quicker.
So they get it done quicker, and it dries.
And they do too.
So it's more dry by the time we get out there, which is good. So
do you like it dry, or do you like it almost like wet, kind of not soaked? Obviously, the time when you're skating around just stops.
I like it when it's best fresh, like just water just dried. Yeah, I think that's the best for everybody. But yeah, no, I didn't find the ice bad. The ice was pretty good there.
So on the off days, what was the team doing? Like I don't know how many off days you had, but
the off days were awesome, man.
Yeah.
Our coaches were awesome about it. So the way our schedule worked out, it was pretty great. We had a day off game, day off game, day off game, day off game
That's
for
nice.
10 days or 12 days or whatever it would have been for 5 games. So the off days we usually had a team meal. We go to the rink. We do some video. And then we do a little activation, 5-minute run, some core, and then a team stretch. And then we go back, we'd eat lunch. And then we'd have 3-4 hours off, just go walk around the city, do whatever we wanted. Was
everyone asking for your advice because you're from the city, like what to do?
Yeah, no, I said...
Discovery
Center. A lot of good seafood here, so if you want to go down to the waterfront, go eat some of that, explore that. But
a lot of seafood fans on the team?
A few, yeah. Some guys don't like it. I'd probably say like 75-25.
It's an acquired thing.
Like it, yeah, no. Yeah. But I just told them walk around. There's a bunch of stuff to do. You can go a lot of good restaurants downtown. Just walk around. They went down to that fan fest, that street there. That walked down there at the concerts playing. Oh, it was pretty cool. I think the setup this year was a lot better than it was the year before. I was talking to Noah about it. They said it was in Regina the year before, and everything was just so spread out. And this year, everything's just all jam packed. Like we walked to the rink for our games.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was. This year was a fantastic setup. It was great for all the players, all the teams, everything. It was great.
That's what I was gonna say. You got to hand it to Halifax, man. Every time we put on a hockey event or any sporting event at all, it's unbelievable. You said, the street fest was right down that street down Aragon. We walked the streets for hours. The fan fest up in the convention center was insane. All the bars, it was raining. People were out on the patios drinking.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
It was awesome. Down there early, people were drinking.
Hats off to the whole committee there. It was awesome for the players. I'm sure for the media it was good. For the fans, I'm sure it was amazing. Halifax winning, they won three games there. They got to the finals. They had a good tournament, so there was a lot to cheer for if you're a fan of the Mooseheads of that tournament. So I think it was a great week for everybody for sure.
I want to ask you about the difference in the league. So the WHL, you have Prince Albert, who was, like we said earlier, number 1 in the nation for a while until you guys took over. You got Guelph, which I think led the tournament in draft picks with something like 7 or 8 or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they had 11.
Or 11.
I'm pretty sure it was 11.
So when you're playing these teams for the first time, did you notice maybe a difference in speed, a difference in their battle, maybe just in their systems, anything like that, or did you find it was pretty much like the Q? Because I'm just basically trying to compare it, right?
Yeah, I'm sure I think all the leagues are the same. There's some teams that are big and tough. There's some teams that are small and skilled, and you just kind of have to. We did our research. We figured out what kind of teams they were.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think the leagues are any different. Every team has their different teams with different styles and stuff. But we knew Guelph was probably the most skilled team in Canada. I'd have to say.
How did you play against Suzuki at all? Did you match up against him?
Yeah,
in the
semis, I was playing against him a lot.
How
I got moved up with Abandonado. So, dude, he's gross. unreal.
Is he
That whole
hard to
that whole
contain?
line.
You know what I mean?
He's just so fast and shifty. I think like it looks like you have him, and then he would just toe drag and he's gone. It's like he was a really good player. That whole line that Ratcliffe was 6'4" and had the most toe drags in the tournament, and like, it was
the tall guy. Yeah.
He's the captain, isn't
the
he?
left winger, I think he was, but. No, like he's 6'4", good hands. Like he's gonna like. I think all three of those guys will play in the NHL. Him and Twistle and Suzuki. They'll all play in the NHL within the next like 2-3 years.
That's insane.
I'd have to say. Like,
they were fun to watch. There was points out there where Suzuki was doing whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah, no, they were.
Yeah.
I think they were probably the most skilled team in Canada. I'd have to think that with 11 NHL draft picks, the way they played with so much speed and skill that I don't think anybody in our league was that skilled. Mm-hmm. And I haven't seen the West play, but it's hard to imagine a team with more like just raw talent than they had.
It's crazy.
Well, it's such an interesting perspective to have. Like, who was there? The Leafs GM, Dubas.
Yeah.
You know, if you're there and you're going to watch these games, you're seeing these young kids play, and you're trying to build the Toronto Maple Leafs to win the Stanley Cup. Obviously, he's building his team based around skill with Marner, Matthews, these guys. But then you see a team like yours, and that's just built off grit, depth, and consistent hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, are you able to transfer that game plan like yours and almost bring it to the NHL, or is the NHL just too different of a league in order to win a Stanley Cup? Do you need maximum amount of skill, maximum amount of grit, amazing goaltending? Because no offense, your team, you guys had some skill.
Yeah,
you guys were, but I'd say you guys were more on the grit side and more on the third line consistent pound
No,
side.
I think our strengths all year were our depth, the fact that we could come at you in waves, like four lines. It was tough to, I think it was tough to line match against us, because if you leave our first line unattended, they're gonna just have a field day. But also our third line was like one of our
best lines.
You couldn't just match up the second and the third, or else our third can put the puck in the back of the net too. Like with I think I had 3 goals, Marleau had 2, Herrera had like 2 or 3 points like in that tournament. So it was it's tough. I think that was one of our best strengths, was just our depth, the fact that we could come at you in waves. We had a lot of we had a lot of guys that like just played in their identity. We had a lot of grit, a lot of hard work, and I think we all just bought in, and that was the key. I think that spoke volumes. That you don't have to have the most NHL draft picks, the most skill, or the most talent. If you come together and you're the best team, that's what counts.
Well, it's funny that you say that team, because when you bring guys like, who are the 3 you brought? Dobson, who are the other 2 guys?
Teasdale and Cote.
And it's like, you bring those 2 guys in and they're getting all this ice time. You can't tell me that there's not a little bit of jealousy from the guys that are already on the team that are getting their ice time bumped back. But you're saying that you guys were able to come together and forget about that and just come together as a team. And like Dudes and I always say, the guys that come on this show and that win championships, the exact same theme is, we're a team.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how you just said the exact same thing, how there was no jealousy, nothing.
Yeah, I think that was a big thing. Everybody just put their egos away for 5 months, and just everybody had the common goal of winning, and that was the biggest thing for us. It helped that those guys coming in were three awesome guys. They fit right in.
That always helps. Good people, not cocky.
Dobby's a great guy, great player. Probably led the country in ice time. Teasdale was with Armada, and he went to back-to-back finals. Like, he was a winner. He worked hard. He was probably like the best power forward in the league.
Yeah.
He knew how to put the puck in the back of the net. A
little bit of grit to his game.
Yeah, I think he was face, kind of. I saw a stat at the end of the regular season. He was like 3rd in the league in hits, or like 2nd or 3rd in the league in hits, and he had 40 goals. It was like
one thing I noticed with your guys' team.
And then Cote was one of the nicest guys like I'll ever meet. I think he's going to be coming back with us next year. He'll be a 20-year-old with us next year. He's a great guy, and he was also a great hockey player. So it was awesome that there was no egos coming into the room. We didn't change the room that much. It was only 3 guys, and they fit in perfectly, and that was a big part of it.
It was just the last pieces of the puzzle. You guys
exactly.
That's it. You guys
just last finishing touches
pieces.
for sure.
I find the Q is more active in trades. This is what I've heard. I can't say I find it, as that was funny. That the Q is more active in trades than the WHL and the OHL. It's more common for teams to make trades at the deadline compared to the OHL. Have you guys ever heard anything like that before?
I never heard that.
No, I think
someone was telling me.
Guelph made a few moves that I think they added like 6 or 7 guys.
So then that guy that told me is bullshit.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe that's it's a common theme, but I don't know. There's a lot of movement at Christmas in the Q, but I I think that's because the league's so competitive, and that like this year I think there was 6 or 7 teams going for it. So obviously there's gonna be a lot of movements when there's 6 or 7 teams trying to load
Just
up
in those
at
teams.
the same time. So
Yeah.
I think just the parity in the league kind of causes that, where there's so many teams that are trying to win, and so obviously there's gonna be a lot of movement because there's only so many players that can get moved.
I missed the rumor mill in hockey, even in Junior A. I'm sure in Junior B as well. You played Junior A, but there's always a rumor mill within the league. There's always, well, this guy's a shit guy. I don't want him coming here. Because that's a thing. Coaches listen to that stuff, too. It's like, I don't want this guy on my team. He's a cancer. He's not coming here.
Exactly.
It's like that. Even in the queue, I'm sure. Obviously in the queue as well. But you hear these things in the rumor mill, in the hallway.
They're all going to ask what kind of person he is and what kind of character he has.
Definitely.
Unless you're something like Crosby or something, I'm sure even if he was a cancer in the room, you're still going to take him, right? If you have the opportunity. They're just, but that's the one.
There's some guys,
I think before any trades get to happen or trades occur, I think GMs do their homework. They ask guys from the same area as them, like, hey, what's this guy like? And so, I'm sure GMs do their homework. If they're going to pay draft picks and futures and players for a guy to bring him in, they want to make sure he's going to fit in well. Yeah. And he's not going to disrupt anything. He's going to bring like a positive impact to the team for sure.
Did you want to say anything? You got a question?
No, man. I'll chime in when I'm ready.
Okay. I know you probably don't have to answer. I'd love if you would, but I think your stock went up this past week. You're a 20-year-old. You're going into your 20-year-old season. Maybe you go junior. Maybe you go pro. Maybe you go school route. Do you know? Can you give us anything about next year? What's going on?
I'll be a runner and a Husky.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
So we broke that story. Did we break that?
I think they already announced it in the media to the Rouen newspaper. I think that was in the media a week or two ago.
Oh, in Rouen, no.
I had my exit meeting, and I think they want me to come back. They kind of announced to the newspaper that it was going to be me, Cote, and Marlowe. Is there 320s next year? And
that's awesome.
Man.
It'll be fun. I think it's pretty special to play like your whole career with one team, and kind of just. Finishing my career where it started, where I got drafted, so it's gonna be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to it.
Dude,
it would be hard to leave there, man, after what you guys just did. You know what I mean? Where you went from almost, I don't want to say the bottom, but you were good, and then you were great and you win. It'd be hard to almost turn your back on that, of course, unless a team's looking for a big crash and banger for the end of the run next year. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't control that stuff, but I definitely Snapchatting some of my buddies that got traded. Like we traded Sierra to Blainville, we traded Harvey Pinard to Chicoutimi, and we traded Thibault to Quebec.
Was this yesterday?
These were part of the deals at Christmas time, but so they got announced yesterday at the draft. But I was like Snapchatting them, and they're sending me like Snapchats, and they got like their new logos there. It looks so weird, man. Like
that's weird.
So fresh too, still like a lot of it hasn't even set in like for real.
Yeah, I was like you said, the rumor mill in hockey. Like I think there was talks, and I think we kind of knew that they were going to get traded, but now that it's official and like they're wearing their new teams polos and stuff like that, it's like.
Yeah, you got to buy in. You got to buy in again, though, right?
No, it's
I was going to ask you, was there any point at all? Because you just said you're going to play in Rouen as a 20, right? And everybody knows the team only takes so many 20s. Blah blah blah.
Awesome,
was there ever a point where that might have been like not a possibility as a 19? Obviously, there is that possibility, but was it ever in your mind or anything like that? Because I think the tournament just solidified it for you. Because I was tracking minutes, like I said, you were starting with like 6-7 minutes, then you're up into like 13-14 minutes of ice time, right? So obviously at those stakes, that says something, right? So do you think that was just like nailing it in for you at the Mem Cup?
Definitely. When you're 19 years old, you're kind of thinking about that. That was in my head throughout the season. That was my goal kind of going into the year, was like I wanted to have a good season, wanted to have a lot of success, but like my personal goal was I kind of wanted to carve out a job as a 20-year-old for next season. So I think as a 20-year-old, coaches want to look at you for things like leadership, grit, playing with your identity, kind of showing the way. And so that was my focus, just focus on yourself, like play within your identity, make sure you go out there, move your feet, work hard every night, be consistent.
Do what you're good at.
Consistent is the big one.
Yeah, no, you want to have consistency out of your leaders and out of your 20-year-olds. So I try to just go out, do the same thing every night, and just play within my role.
Dude, I'm so happy for you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I remember talking to you about it earlier in the year. When did we do the last podcast?
Christmas break.
Christmas time, and like you were talking about it and you were unsure, and now you know, and you got a Mem Cup under your belt and a President's Cup. Like I'm happy for you, man. That's awesome.
No, it's great. Kind of to win with those guys was pretty awesome. There was 5 or 6 of us that came in when we were 17. We had a really good team then. and we were just riding the pine, like just fourth line, like didn't even touch top 9. 4 or 5 of us all just rotating into the lineup, getting scratched and stuff like that. And now that was kind of like the core that we played well in the first half with, to get those. Like we had to play well in the first half for our coach to kind of like put all the chips on the table and kind of sell the farm to go get the guys like Dobby and Teaser and Coates. So
that point,
so that was the core that kind of got that going for us. And then it was pretty cool that now we were the 19-year-olds and 18-year-olds on that team that they kind of won the MCAP after two years ago. We were just little rookies that were pretty irrelevant and just up in the stands watching.
Love it. It's a good message though for anybody who's younger coming up. Is you said you were on the fourth line, you were in and out of the lineup, and you just stuck to it. You stuck with the process. Obviously, you gave a shit, and so did the other guys. And then you get to be that guy, and then you win. So basically, the message is, it could be bad now, but it's going to be better later, right? Don't give up. It's like the draft yesterday, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
a lot of kids might have thought they were getting drafted.
We were also like 17-year-old rookies. Like, it's not even like we were 16. I wasn't even drafted at 15, drafted at 16, like after my second year midget, and then I was a rookie at 17, riding the pine. So it's like when you see like 16-year-olds that are like worried about, they're like, oh, I'm not putting up numbers. It's like, man, like I had like 15 points when I was 17. Like I was playing midget hockey undrafted at 16. So the fact that you're even here, just keep working hard and you're going to be fine. Don't worry.
Did you reach out to anyone that got drafted to Rouen yesterday?
Yeah, I did. We used our first pick that we had. It was in the 3rd round. We drafted a kid from PEI.
Maritimer.
Yeah, we drafted a kid named Jacob Squires. He was a defenseman.
Who did he play for?
I think he played major midget in Charlottetown.
We know that
the Pride. They were at the Atlantics.
Yeah,
I think
that's
were they the host?
Yeah.
That's
how we heard it. Okay.
Yeah. So we drafted him. I talked to Dobby right when they drafted him. He says he's a great kid, works hard. Like he's gonna be a good player. So
because Dobby's from
So yeah, no, that was really exciting for me. I was kind of hoping that we were going to get another Maritime kid. We were losing Dobby. We were losing Abandonado, who's a good English kid. We're losing both of our Euros, who I was really close with. So the fact that we're going to have another Maritime kid, hopefully he cracks the team. And it was really exciting for me, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We should go up to Quebec, dudes, and do a behind the button with him one day, like up to in Rouen.
It's only a 29-hour drive.
Yeah, but still, we can make a couple stops. Like we know everyone not everyone, but we know some people in the queue. We can make stops and do a couple behind the buttons with them. You got nice billets. Would they let us in the house?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Maybe not dudes. Dudes can be in the car. But
That's all right. I'll sleep in the car. For the team. It's for the team.
I'll come in. I'll sleep on the couch. All right, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that'd be fun though. I would actually, you know me, I'm not going to say no to something like that.
But that's the thing. What time does it start snowing in Rouen? It must start in
August.
September. Yeah.
Yeah, I think mid-October, I'd say. I think by the time November hits, there's snow on the ground. But when we get there, it's burning hot. Like it's 25, 30 degrees. It's nice. It's kind of like down in the valley, right? Like it gets cold in the winter, and then it gets cold it gets really hot in the summer. I'll obviously do an extreme because it's like all the way inland and it's pretty cold. But no, like when we get there, it's burn. Like we're golfing every day.
Yeah.
No, it's really nice weather when we get there, and then it turns the tide pretty quickly.
So we should just go up that time of year, like training camp almost. And like get a tour of Rouen. You can give us you're probably the mayor up there right now. So you just give us a tour. We'll do something.
I'm happy you said that because I wanted to ask when you guys got back. Everybody's seen the picture with the trophy with the crowd. What did you guys do? Did you guys do a parade? Were all the people at the airport when you guys got back? Like, give me some info here because it looks sick.
When we got back after the President's Cup, we had to fly back right away because obviously the league booked our flight. Not assuming, but with the safety net there that if Halifax won, we were going to be flying back right away so we could have the day off and then play Game 7 the next night. So the flight was booked for right after the game. It was a 4:00 game, so it still wasn't even that late. I think we got to the airport around like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Then we flew home. It was only like an hour and a half flight. So we got back around 11. And we got off the plane and it was packed. Like
at the airport.
At the airport, it was nuts. Like 11 o'clock at night. I don't know a number of people, but it was crazy. Yeah, the whole city. No, it was crazy. Like in the airport, like there was like probably a aisle probably 2 feet wide that we could walk through, and then the rest was just fans everywhere. We got out to the parking lot. There's fans everywhere. People screaming, blowing their horns at the airport. It was nuts.
Unreal.
So that's the President's Cup.
That was the President's Cup, and then I think we went out and celebrated that night, and then we had a few days off, got back to work, prepare for the Memorial Cup. And then after the Memorial Cup, we stayed in Halifax that night. We had a little party with all of our friends, our family. They booked out the room, the big conference room at the hotel. We just had a really fun night there. It was fun to meet all the parents, all the siblings, all the brothers, sisters, families, friends. We were all in one big, huge room just celebrating. We had both the cups there. We're all in our hats and our shirts. It was a really fun night. And then we flew home, and then it wasn't that packed when we got back from the Memorial Cup. There was obviously fans at the airport and stuff, but it wasn't like what it was
for the President's
Cup, because we were flying home. It was like noon or something. So I'm guessing a lot of people were at work and stuff. It's to be expected. But and then we had the parade, and the parade was nuts.
So when you say parade, you're talking like on a float or a vehicle of some sort.
We had
down
a big
strip.
float. Like, you know those things that you put like you see those things driving on the highway. They got like a bunch of cars on the back.
Oh yeah.
So they kind of like unraveled one of those, and it was just a big long float for us, and they had the sides done up so we wouldn't fall off and stuff like that. But
Safety
it's probably bad news if it falls off one of those things. But
in the celebration parade.
No, and then the streets were packed. It was probably, we drove through the city for probably an hour, I'd say. It was pretty crazy.
And the weather was good too. I saw.
Weather was unbelievable. It's like I'd say like 22, 23 degrees, sunny, not a cloud out there.
You want to talk about the emotions running through you at that moment? You know what I mean?
It was pretty cool. It was.
You're like, okay, obviously you guys knew you had a good fan base. You guys had like 300-400 fans in Halifax.
Yeah.
But like just to see the entire city just like cheering for 25, maybe 30 guys max, that's insane, man. Like it gave me chills listening to.
Yeah, no, that picture is probably one of my favorite pictures I have. It was
blow that shit up.
That's a really cool picture. It just shows the support that like those small community, small market teams have. It's like if Halifax won, maybe they would have that, but the fact that like I think there was like I think somebody said there was like 3,000, 4,000 people there. There's only like 20, 25 in the city, so it's like 25% of the entire population out there cheering us on there for the parade. It was pretty crazy.
That's insane, man.
That's
Makes
awesome.
it all worth it, baby. Makes it all worth it.
Absolutely.
Do you get any good footage from it? Obviously, you're not going to show it. But
I don't think so. Like
Nah,
we
you're
were kind of just kind of living in the moment, just hanging out with the boys, like hoisting the cup, signing stuff for fans, and no, the phones were away for most of it. Yeah.
I noticed the cup was heavier than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah, they brought the cup to, I don't know if I should say that. Well, it's obvious. It was at Ale House.
Yeah.
And some of the boys were there, and we got a couple pictures with it. It was sick. It has like an aura about it. As soon as the cup is around, it's like I can't describe the feeling, but it's there.
Yeah, no,
they were really good about it too.
Yeah, we rented that hotel room out for the night, like that big common room that every hotel has. And then around like 3:00, I think like Ale House called, because I think we were trying to get a bar, but then we decided not to, because we wanted our 16 and 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds too here.
Yeah, seriously.
We wanted them with us. We wanted to spend it with the team and with the boys. So we decided all to stay there or just scrap the bar. I think we were going to go to the Ale House.
Yeah,
but. No, we decided that we were just going to stay at the hotel because we didn't want to leave some of the boys behind.
That's fair.
20-year-olds were probably there.
No, that was it. Yeah. So around 3:00 in the morning, I think they called and some of the guys went. I didn't, but no, some of the guys went, and I woke up Snapchats. There's guys, strangers hoisting the Memorial Cup, walking down Barrington Street. Might have been you.
The guy, I don't know who it was, but he was walking up the stairs of the Ale House here, and I was going down to take a piss, and the guy was just right there. We met at the middle. I was like, "Oh shit, I need a picture!" And I gave him my phone. He goes, "All right, just don't leave." So I just held it, and then he took the picture.
Don't leave.
Thought I was gonna run off with it. Where am I gonna go here?
I think we met your parents there. That might have been earlier in the day.
Oh, yeah,
I think my parents did go there after him.
Yeah, they did actually. Yeah, because we were talking to them for a while.
We were?
Yeah. Well, I was anyway.
I don't remember that.
No, I stayed at the hotel with most of the boys, but some of the guys wanted to go up to the Ale House and kind of explore the town a little bit. So
yeah.
But I know my parents were there after the.
I was told to ask.
The celebrations. Yeah.
I was told to ask about Mark Hinam.
Yeah, I saw that. Jack Gillis commented that. No, it's just my dad's pretty cool, and some of the boys like him, so. They wanted me to ask about him. That's all I gotta say. Is he's a pretty cool guy, and
what's so cool about him?
He's just the man.
He just lets the boys be the boys, man. That's all. Come on, man! Don't be digging into their personal life.
Yeah, I need to know. I'm trying to add my cool. I'm trying to become a bit more cooler. So if I can learn from Mark Hinam, he can give me some.
Did he play hockey? Because when we interviewed him after the game, he it was almost like he had been interviewed for after a hockey game before.
He did play hockey, not at a competitive level. I think like high school was his peak.
Yeah.
He played high school hockey for Corbett High, but he was a big soccer player. He went to Canada Games for soccer.
Did
and
he?
Yeah, he
Nice.
went to Acadia, played at like a university, varsity level soccer. So
Sick.
hey man, both my parents, they were both university soccer players. So yeah.
Your mom seems like a happy lady.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Oh, she
she's
was
pretty
emotional.
upbeat. She's pretty upbeat and positive.
We also met
she's
your
awesome.
grandmother.
Yeah.
She said you were a really smart kid in all courses in
Science,
school.
math, English, French. She said, "Did you see the video?"
I think I did. Yeah. Yeah.
It's hilarious because he just didn't know what to say.
No, she goes, "I'm the grandmother of Tyler Hinam," and I go, "That's nice. I'm the interviewer of Tyler Hinam." She goes, "Oh, that's nice. I've seen you before."
But the reason I said that was because when we were down on the ice after the game, it was absolutely unbelievable to see how proud you know what I mean? All the parents were just like so proud, and you don't really get to see it from afar, but if you're down there, you can feel it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like I think like everybody, like to get to this level, you got to put in a lot of hours. A lot of guys, you got to start when you're 5-6 years old, and you go to those tournaments, and every single weekend, spring hockey, so much money and time invested in the rink. Like they're the ones driving you to the 6 a.m. practice. So for them to kind of get to share that with us, and kind of for us to get to that level and win here, it's kind of like just all those trips to the rink, all those trips to tournaments, all those spring hockey fees and stuff like that. It was it all kind of came full circle, and it was really cool. Especially celebrating with everybody afterwards, just meeting everybody and just seeing how proud the parents were, and how happy the boys were that we finally got it done. And no, that's what we worked for all year. And I think there's 60 teams in the CHL, 59 are disappointed at the end of the year. So for us to be that one, it's it was
statement.
It was pretty awesome. Like,
awesome.
It was pretty great, and I think the parents were really proud. But it was just awesome to be able to celebrate with them.
Are you gonna get a tattoo at all?
I don't know. I'm not a big tat guy, but I think some of the guys on the team were talking about it, but we'll see if anything materializes.
Yeah, a couple beers later on a Saturday could happen.
Your mind might change. Get it right here, right there, so nobody can see it.
Yeah,
right?
that's a good spot.
Like right there under the ribs.
I
or
think
something.
Manson's brother. I think he got one.
Did he?
Yeah, I think because they won the memory with Lewiston.
What was I gonna ask you? Fuck, I had a good question. Oh yeah, are you playing lacrosse this year? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I think I plan on coming back in a couple weeks. I want to let my body rest a little bit.
Fair. Are you injured at all right now?
Just kind of sore and tired.
Just tired.
Yeah,
Just need to
no,
rest.
it was a long season. I think,
Oh yeah.
like including preseason, that Mem Cup final was our 100th game of the year. So that's crazy. So
There's a minimum 100 games in the queue for you though.
yeah,
Right there.
yeah. So yeah,
Rest.
it's kind of time to rest and shut it down for at least a week or two.
I was
and
gonna
then
ask
get back,
you.
and then get back at it.
Sorry, I was gonna ask you. Was there guys that were beat up? Because you know how they always release it at the end of the playoffs.
Yeah, no, there was definitely some injuries. I don't know which ones I can talk about, but like we had a guy
you don't have to have names or anything.
broke his thumb first game of playoffs, played the entire playoff run, broken thumb. We had guys with their knees popped out. Yeah, no,
And
it was,
still played?
Yeah, it still played. Like I think by the Mem Cup final, we had to get like 12 bikes because guys just literally couldn't run to warm up. Like it was it was crazy. And then obviously like Jack, he didn't play through it, but he broke his jaw blocking a shot. But yeah, no, there was a lot of injuries. I think there was 12 guys on the bikes.
You said there was a flu too going around.
Yeah,
There was a little
we got the flu. At
Didn't
the
you
beginning
get
of the-
it?
Yeah, I had the flu the first day we landed in Halifax. Me and Bergeron got it pretty bad.
And you said you couldn't eat or anything.
Yeah, no, I didn't eat for like 3 days. It was gross.
And so for you to be able to elevate your game on that type, like your adrenaline, or I don't know what your game plan, or just I don't even know what happened, but to not eat and then just be that good.
You're like
It's
Michael
crazy.
Jordan. That's like the flu game. Michael Jordan flu game. That's your flu game. The whole tournament.
That's your flu the whole tournament.
That's your flu tournament. You did it. There'll be an ESPN 60 Minute on you, whatever they do later.
But yeah, it was pretty crazy just seeing the amount of guys that were just battling through things. Like every single guy's going in and getting taped up before the games and getting wraps on their hips and stuff just to keep their hips in place and stuff like that. It was but I'm sure every single team was like that, right?
Yeah.
I think it just came out yesterday that Jerry McIsaac from the Mooseheads has to go get 6 months surgery
About your question.
Like it's every team's dealing with that stuff. Like I think like it's not just us, but I think it's crazy the hockey culture that you just play through anything when the stakes are that high and you're that far into the season. It's
it
pretty
actually
cool.
is. It's completely different, and like
Yeah,
it's the only sport really, pretty much, that people just play through like deadly injuries.
No, it's
I find it's just adrenaline. Like, if you're hurt and you're going through a game, I find there's so much adrenaline you don't even feel the pain.
There's so
That's
much
in my
else going on,
experience
right?
with like blocking a shot. Like, I wasn't the best at it, but
that's
you
why you
always
get hurt.
you always describe it as once it happens, it stings for a second, then adrenaline just takes over. Especially in a moment like the Mem Cup, I couldn't imagine the adrenaline that's going through your body at all time. You're just fucking
you
pumped
block
to
a
go.
shot and you hear the bench just going wild.
That's exactly,
It's
and
like,
it makes it, you don't even care.
No, especially on that kind of stage when the stakes are just so high that you're doing anything to win. I think every single guy on the team knew that. So anything big would happen, a big hit, a big block shot, the bench is going wild. It gives energy to the whole team. So
Exactly.
yeah.
All right.
I laughed about the McIsaac thing, not because he's injured. Obviously, I'm not laughing at that, but because everyone lit him up on social media after you ran in there because he just kind of like tucked out of the way.
Yeah.
And then you get the notification saying that he got crazy. He couldn't afford to get hit, basically.
Yeah, I know.
And nobody knew that, but that's why I kind of smirked. I don't know why you laughed, but because it was probably a pretty monumental moment in your career. But I don't know. It was just funny that's how it, kind of comes up afterwards.
That's what I like about the whole media side of the thing, is that you know things that are going on in the game, outside of the game, that other fans don't know. You kind of know the story behind the story. I don't know. That's what I like about it. All right. Well, man, we're coming up on an hour here. Hinam, thank you very much for kind of coming on. Last minute's yours. I know you probably have a lot of people to thank. So if you want to thank your family, friends, anyone, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to thank my parents, obviously, everybody that supported me, the whole family. But thanks to all the boys. It was a great year. We did it. We're champions. So if any of you boys are listening to this, it was awesome. It was good playing with you, whether I'm with you next year or not. Thanks for a great year. You guys are the best.
Spoken like a true champion. All right, we are out, dudes. You want to say anything?
Bye.
All right, guys, everyone listening, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, all of our social media outlets. We are The High Button. This is Justin. I'm out. Hinam's out. Dudes is out. We're out. See you guys. Peace.